Severe winter weather on the way. Erie County Executive Mark Poenkart is providing an update on how the county is gearing up for the storm.
Communication Center out of Albany, and they all agree generalized snowfall today. 4 to 8 inches of snow is expected to fall in the overnight hours, with then another 8 to 12 inches during the daytime hours. We are not anticipating putting a countywide driving ban on at this time. We may consider localized driving bans for communities if needed. I already had a conference call and a WebEx meeting with local elected officials, supervisors of towns and mayors of cities and villages. And we all discussed that we're in pretty good shape right now. Departments of Public Works are pushing back snow piles, getting the roads extended to their full width in anticipation of the next level of snow. But everyone feels pretty good about where they are. Lackawanna, we've had to send additional equipment and is still out on the roads, high lifts, as well as dump trucks, and I believe there's still some in the city of Buffalo as well. As such, there is a travel advisory. These pieces of equipment normally are not on our roads, so you always have to use extreme caution when they are, because those drivers of dump trucks as well as the high lifts are accustomed to working on construction sites, not in the middle of the road where people may be driving or walking. So we just want to remind people that the travel advisory is still in effect, and to exercise care, especially if you're in an area that was hit hard. There are people who are walking on streets instead of using sidewalks because sidewalks are not clear. So if you have a sidewalk, we're asking all businesses as well as individuals to clear your sidewalks and to clear fire hydrants that may be on your lawns or on your property. So if there is an issue, that the fire department can access your hydrant as well as clear your sidewalks so individuals don't have to walk in the streets. We are expecting, as we noted, 1 to 2 feet and possibly up to 3 feet localized. It does appear the city of Buffalo is going to get a significant portion of the snow tomorrow. The South Buffalo area, Kaisertown, Lovejoy did receive a significant amount of snow with this most recent storm. But if you go a little further north, you know, there's not much, just a few inches. Well, that appears to change, and the city could see 18 inches or more throughout the entire city in the north towns. So our Department of Public Works are on 24-hour work schedules now. We have 2 12-hour shifts. So it's not like we stop in the middle of the night. We're working all night, and we'll continue to do that through the winter months as we deal with these lake effect storms. We are strongly recommending that employers use remote work if possible. We really want to keep the number of vehicles off the roads in the next day or two, just so that we have an opportunity to get out there and clear the roads. Conditions may not warrant a driving ban, but we really would prefer that employers who have work and it can be done remotely, that it be done remotely to eliminate the need to have all of these individuals trying to drive to work. I have been in contact with the head of the Superintendents Association of Erie County and Niagara County, Mike Cornell. I expect a number of school districts to be off tomorrow. The discussion we had, as well as others have had, we don't think there'd be a problem getting students to school. The problem is if conditions get as rough as they potentially can during the daylight hours, they might have trouble getting students home then, because we really don't want these large buses going out if there's 2 inches or more of snow that's falling per hour. So I would expect that many school districts will announce closures for tomorrow, but that is a decision to be made by each school superintendent, and I think you'll be hearing a lot more of that in the next hour or two. So that will help if there are schools that are closed, because it gives our Department of Public Works crews a much easier time of getting out there and clearing roads if they're not stuck behind school buses. So we are asking businesses to go to remote work. Organizations and community groups that have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow, it's best probably that you think about canceling or moving those events. Turning down my phone here. So that your folks aren't stuck potentially. We have a lot of snow in the areas that were hit hard, up 3 feet or more, as most people know, up 40 inches plus in some parts of the county. And getting another 2 feet will not be easy. We're going to have to put that somewhere. The state has been snow blowing some of its major roads, so they're straight to the edge of the shoulder. The county's in the same position right now. We're trying to push snow to the edge of the shoulder. We do have some snow blowers that are primarily used in the extreme southern part of the county. And if need be, we will move them up. We just don't feel we're in a position just yet to do that. So I just ask everyone to exercise caution, especially tomorrow. Today seems like it's going to be okay. The travel advisory is still in effect, but it's primarily because there's large pieces of equipment that are on the roads. But tomorrow looks like it's going to be another hairy day with potentially 2 feet or more falling in parts of the community, including, of course, in the city of Buffalo. As I said, I had a local leaders call earlier. Mayor Brown was on that call, and we're all just going to continue to monitor this. Today should be fine, but tomorrow looks like it's going to be another fun day. Thankfully, the winds do not appear that they're going to be as strong as what we dealt with last week. We caught a break this weekend in which we didn't have any power outages. This time last week, we were dealing with significant power outages in the southern part of the county, but we were lucky. We didn't deal with any power outages this past weekend, which would have made things much worse. And with the winds dying down a little bit, even though they'll still be strong, it certainly makes it tough when we have power outages in multiple inches of snow per hour. But with there being an expectation that the winds are dying down a little bit, while there will be whiteout conditions and blizzard-like for some periods, if there's 2 inches or more falling plus 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts, this is manageable. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions. I'd ask if you can just, instead of just shouting them out, just raise your hand on the WebEx application, and then I'll just call people out as their hands pop up. To raise your hand, go down to the bottom, and you'll see there's a little hand icon on the bottom in which you can click on that, and I'll see it on my side here. Any questions? First one from Ron Plants.
Yeah, hi, County Executive. I know what you were saying about technically no driving ban yet, but you are recommending that employers, if possible, go to remote. But what would you suggest for the larger employers, the factories, the people that have those 3-shift situations? What are you recommending to them at this time? And number 2, what kind of response have you gotten to the employer portal that you put on the website? Have companies registered with you? What are you seeing there?
We have had companies register with us. Some of them are not essential. We're in the process of we were in the process of responding to all of those at the time that this most recent storm hit. Others are essential, but we want to identify who the essential employees are. I'll give you an example just of one. We had fast food restaurants that were applying saying they were essential. They're not. While we appreciate them, they're not in a blizzard situation, and we don't want their employees going out on the roads. But we've had others that are essential, and we're responding to them and will in the future on a case-by-case basis. To the larger employers, we know that there are some larger employers that need to be operational because of production issues. When I say production issues, if they shut down, it can damage their equipment. The most basic employees need to be there, not everyone. I'll give you an example of where there was a problem in the town of Lancaster during this storm, and the town supervisor and police acted accordingly. The Amazon facility in Lancaster was acting as if they were essential, asking their employees to come in to pick up for deliveries. They're not. And Lancaster got hit really hard to the point where they actually had to go out there and talk to the Amazon folks and say, well, you know what, you can do your work inside, but you can't be sending your trucks out in the middle of these storms. You're not essential, and you do not have the right to violate a driving ban. So that is something that occurred during this most recent storm that was causing problems because, as you know, these little Amazon delivery vehicles are not made for traveling in very snowy conditions. So that's an issue where they may feel they're essential, but they're not. You don't need your Amazon delivery at 8 o'clock in the night when it's snowing at 3 inches an hour. So we are trying to continue to get that message out that the conditions are going to be they're going to be winter in Buffalo. I mean, 1 to 2 inches of snow per hour is not out of the norm of expectation for just a good old snowstorm. When it gets above that, is problematic. So that's why there's a travel advisory right now, and if need be, we would put a driving ban in consultation with local officials in localized areas like a specific city or town. We're trying to avoid the countywide for what does not appear will be needed based on the current projections. Tom Puckett, WBEN. Still have a question, Tom? You're on mute. You need to unmute yourself. I think I just unmuted you. Are you there, Tom?
Okay, I'm here now. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go
All
ahead.
right. Mark, how do you anticipate the equipment working and making sure that they're placed in certain towns where they are anticipated to get most of that snowfall?
Well, the city of Buffalo has more than 200, I think 300 pieces of equipment right now that are still in the city. They're keeping it there from this most recent storm. They're actually still doing some cleanup in parts of the city, but those pieces of equipment are still available for the city of Buffalo. The county has provided additional equipment, high lifts and trucks through Union Concrete to the city of Lackawanna. Those are still there and will remain through this storm. On the call earlier today, I expressed to the supervisors and mayors that if they feel they need additional equipment, it's best to let us know earlier rather than in the height of the storm, so we can get it out there and then it can be used immediately rather than be delayed by a few hours. So it's important that we know that earlier, and that's why we have these calls. As I said, I think the city actually may be done with its cleanup, but it's still keeping its equipment available from its private contractor, which is good, because I think, once again, they're probably going to need it tomorrow. And so our goal is to ensure that the information that we receive from the towns and cities and villages is as soon as possible so that we can respond as quickly as possible. This most recent storm, of course, on Sunday, the 3 to 5 inches or maybe even more per hour that was falling was not projected, and it was ridiculous as we were out there. But we didn't anticipate having snow falling at that high a rate. But once we had the opportunity to move the equipment in, we did. And we kept the roads, the mains, pretty open, and that was key. We want to keep the mains pretty open during these very bad situations so that we can get our equipment through, and if there's an emergency vehicle like an ambulance that needs to get through, we can get through as well. And that's our goal going forward, again, is to keep the mains and the secondaries open during these difficult times, and if it takes a little longer to get to a neighborhood, it will, but as long as we have the ability to make the roads passable for emergency vehicles, that is our key. If we can make them passable, even if you don't like it because there's hard pack or maybe 6 inches on the ground, as long as they're passable for emergency vehicles, we feel we're in a good spot. Brianne Roser.
Hello. So obviously when we get these storms, this messaging isn't just for people who have always lived or do live in Western New York. We have people visiting as well who maybe don't understand exactly what the rules are. So when you, or if and when there is a driving ban implemented, what are the fines associated with it? I mean, how expensive is it when something like that happens, and who is enforcing it, especially from like the localized level to the county?
Local law enforcement enforces it, which is our police departments, sheriff's office, state police. The fines can be up to $500 per incident. I believe that the truckers were getting hit with some very large fines by the state police. The local law enforcement that did write tickets, I think, were writing them for smaller amounts. Is really up to the judge in the end, because it's up to $500 fine. It doesn't have to be 500, but I think the recommendation from the state police was the highest amount for truckers. And individuals need to understand that a driving ban is put in place because it is too dangerous to drive. It's not just so that we can clear roads. People think we put a driving ban in there just to make their lives miserable, so we can get out there and clear roads. That is not the case. A driving ban is put in place because it is too dangerous, and that we do it to protect the safety of the public. And it is not done lightly. I do not want to have to put a driving ban in effect unless I have to. And that's what we're looking at with regards to this upcoming storm, is that it does not appear it will be sufficient enough, at least immediately, to issue a driving ban countywide, but it may require it for a particular municipality, and then that decision is made in consultation with the municipality. One other thing, though, every municipality leader, supervisor for towns and mayors for cities and villages have the power to declare their own state of emergency and put in effect their own driving ban. It does not just have to be me. They all have the power. They just like to rely on me to do it. You have a follow-up, Brianne?
I do. I know that over the weekend we had the travel ban, and then we also had calls for people to help shovel out the stadium. So if that instance were to happen again, be it this week or later in the future, what messaging would you have for people who want to get out there and start shoveling?
Well, if it's a travel ban, we really don't want, we don't want people going and ignoring a travel ban. In that situation there, the Bills were very desperate. We actually were in a situation that if we could not clear the aisles, we were not going to be able to allow people to go to the football stadium. We did not want a football stadium where it was just the teams and no one else. We had to have access to all of the aisles, and they were able to clear that with limited people. Not many people actually showed up to clear the aisles. They needed 100, and last I heard in the overnight hours, they had no more than 30. That is something the Bills are aware of, and they are out there now, I think, clearing their stadium in anticipation of getting more snow in the next 36 hours. Our goal is to ensure that things are safe. We also felt in a lot better position at that point because while there was heavy snows in some spots, the mains and secondaries were primarily open. We felt good about that. I got to give an incredible shout out to the public works, emergency responders, the plow drivers, law enforcement, because we didn't really have major issues. I've heard of the one death that occurred over the weekend where someone was hit by a hit-and-run vehicle. I think it may have been yesterday. And that is very sad in the town of Cheektowaga, but otherwise we did not have anywhere the issues that we normally have, because people go out and get stuck, and then it can be very deadly. So we just ask people to follow the recommendations. Travel advisory is not a ban. It means you can drive, but we just recommend no unnecessary travel, especially during the heavy snowfalls. Today's going to be fine. The travel advisory is mostly in effect today because of the heavy pieces of equipment that are still on the road. And they don't have the same types of capabilities of rear view mirrors and things that we're used to. So if you're out on the road and you see a big dump truck that's being filled by a high lift of snow, give it a lot of room. They may not see you. They may not be able to see you. So that's why the travel advisory is out today. Sandy Tan.
Hi, Mark. Thanks. I am curious about the Amazon thing. I don't know if you can speak a little bit more about that. When did you guys realize that was a problem, and what kind of conversations did you have with them? I saw a lot of those vehicles out on the roads during the storm. I don't know if they're four-wheel drive, but I was just curious if you could speak about that a little bit more.
We were made aware of it on Saturday at the Emergency Operations Center. It was the Lancaster folks, Robert Leary, the new supervisor, highway superintendent, and their, I believe, police department that dealt with it. So I can't give you all the specifics about what happened, other than we advised them to tell Amazon they can have all the people they want working inside there. They just can't take those vehicles on the road. I don't care how big they are, but in a driving ban, they will be ticketed. I'm not certain if they were ticketed for any vehicles that went on the road thereafter. I was under the impression that they understood the severity of the situation once it was advised to them. I'd recommend that you talk to Supervisor Leary of Lancaster to find out more about it.
Okay, thanks.
Let me just check the chat box, make certain there's nothing else in there. Nothing else. So we are, Ron, you have another question?
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I know you already addressed it, but just to clarify it one more time, if you have, and again, I know you said the county at this point is not looking at a widespread county ban. It's up to the communities. But again, I would think that there are some business owners who have, again, these larger factories that are probably saying, okay, what do I do here? As you said, maybe you need essential workers to keep the machines operating. But the full shifts,
Those shifts are
going,
not essential, Ron.
okay,
Uh,
that's what I was trying to clarify. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. This reminds me of the old Bethlehem Steel days where they had to have someone there to ensure the basic oxygen furnaces continued because if they shut them down, they'd break. In a driving ban situation in a snowstorm, the tier one employers, so to speak, are the only ones that are really authorized to drive, and those are public works, that includes sewers and water, the issues is, as well as the plow drivers and all their emergency services, law enforcement, all those in regarding life saving, like hospitals and nursing homes where they have to have staff there, otherwise people can die. But your Tim Hortons is not essential. Your Amazon is not essential. Your Joe's manufacturing site is not essential. If they need to have an engineer or somebody there so that the place doesn't break down, we understand that. And that's why they need to reach out to emergency services. But their shift workers, their line workers, no, they would not be essential. And what we're finding out, we actually got some messages into our desk as well as our 858 snow number. I won't identify. Actually, I will identify. We had some requests from employees that worked for Tim Hortons saying they were told they had to come in because they were essential. Tim Hortons is not essential. I know people want their cup of coffee, but when a driving ban is happening and snow's falling at 3 to 5 inches an hour, people don't need to get to work at a Tim Hortons. So to the Tim Hortons owners out there, as much as you think you're essential, you're not. You can't force your employees to ignore a driving ban and drive during a driving ban. That could put their life at risk. And as much as people might want that cup of coffee, it's not essential during a blizzard where we have a driving ban effect. As I said, the driving ban is in effect because it is there to protect people's safety, their lives, because it could get so bad that your life's at risk. And if you don't need to be on the road, you shouldn't be on the road. So we understand that there are some employers that believe they are essential, but in a situation like we dealt with in the South Towns this past weekend, there was no one should have been on the road except for emergency vehicles and our plow trucks because it was horrible. And most people followed it. I think that's the thing I want to stress the most is it appears most people followed it. And that's the key. And that's why we got through it as quickly as we did because most of the people in our community followed it, and it allowed us to get out there and clean the roads as quickly as possible. One of the things that we heard from the folks associated with the CBS and the football game is they were shocked at how good the road system was in the area around the football stadium, considering the 3 feet of snow that literally fell in less than 24 hours. They were just amazed. They said, we're shocked that happened. Considering in other communities, they would still be digging out. It's a testament to the incredible people we have here working for Public Works and all the local governments and state, as well as our community adhering to the bans and just staying home during a very bad situation. With that, I got to run because I got to get on a call at 1:30. It will probably be the last briefing to media today because it's basically going to be fine the rest of the day with some snow starting later. And then if things warrant, we'll talk again tomorrow. And just thank you for getting the message out to the public that we're getting another lake effect storm. And let's hope that the prediction is accurate, that the most we're getting is 1 to 2 feet, because there are some areas of the county that we don't want another 3 feet of snow. That's a lot of snow after what we got in the last weekend. So take care, everyone. Be safe and well. And if you have any additional questions, please pass them on to Peter Anderson. Thank you.
That was Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz providing an update ahead of the next winter storm that's going to hit western New York. 1 to 2 feet expected. Buffalo and the North Towns expected to get hit tomorrow. Buffalo Public Schools have already announced that they are going to close. Other school districts are now considering whether or not they will close. We will have all of the closings on our website, WGRZ.com. The city of Buffalo will have an update at 4:30. Stay with Channel 2 and WGRZ.com for all of your updates on the next winter storm. Now back to our regular scheduled programming.